My name's Jeffrey Collins. I'm with the Associated Press. That's JEFFREY COLLINS. And what I'll do is I'll just kind of walk you through what I saw today. So the curtain opened. It was about, looking at my notes, around, it was about 6:01, or maybe a little bit after that. And the curtain opened. Brad Sigmund was strapped into the chair. Unlike other death executions I've seen, he was in a black jumpsuit, had black Crocs-like shoes on. He was completely strapped in. It looked like there was a harness over him. There was a strap over his head. His ankles were shackled. He had a covering over his mouth that, was from about here down. When the curtain opened, he looked towards his attorney, who was on the front row of the witness. They kind of exchanged. They had an exchange. I couldn't tell because his mouth was covered what they were mouthing back and forth to each other, but it looked like he was just saying he was okay to his attorney, Sigmund did. At that point, they had the attorney came out and read the final statement. When the final statement was read, well, let me back up one step. He had a target over his heart when the curtain opened. It was already there. It was a little rectangle white paper, or I'm assuming it was paper, could have been cloth. They had a bullseye on it. It had one outer ring and one inner ring on it. It was red. The bullseye was red. So they came out, read his final statement. At that point, when that was finished, a prison employee got a hood, put the hood over Sigmund's head. Then that prison employee walked from the chair the 15 feet over to where there's a brick wall, and at that point there's a black shade, like one of those shades that you pull down and it rolls up. So there's a black shade there. The prison employee lifted up the shade, and then from that point it was a little less than 2 minutes of nothing at that moment. I mean, you could see Brad Sigmund took several pretty deep breaths, and then suddenly the shots rang out at, I believe Christy said it was 6:05 and 50 seconds. At that point, you did see a small red stain on Sigmund's chest. It was irregularly shaped, but oval, if that makes sense. I mean, like it wasn't like a circle. It was an oval shape. I saw it looked like he may have taken a couple of his chest rose and fell about 2 times immediately after the shots. You could see a tiny piece of like tissue or something that was coming out of that. At that point, also his arm tensed up when he got shot. There's kind of this brief moment of tensing. After that, the doctor was in there fairly quickly, less than a minute after the shots came. Couldn't see exactly what the doctor did because my viewpoint was blocked from his back, but he did an examination for about 90 seconds, and then he walked back towards the other side of the room, walked from left to right as I'm viewing, and then that's when the prison employee announced 6:08 is the time of death. And the only other thing I might add is when they came out after the shoot, they pulled the shade back down. I'm going to let Anna go next and see if she wants to add anything. Go ahead.